It is hard to see Volodymyr as a saboteur. He was born in the town of Krustalny in the Luhansk region. Before the war broke out, he was working in Georgia. He came back home to visit in spring of 2014. His hometown was already surrounded by checkpoints. People were already being abducted by militants. Some of them were later found dead. Others were never found. They'd bring back a body in a bag, throw it into the grave and cover it with earth. And then the relatives of the men, for whom the grave was made, would come, put a coffin there and bury it. This is how Ukrainian patriots were buried. He remembered how the streets of his town became flooded with the Russian-led militants, the self-proclaimed Cossacks. He saw how weapons were being brought across the border for local mercenaries. Russian-led militants shot Ukrainian soldiers, robbed the dead, and just left the bodies behind. It was the locals who buried the fallen. Zhemchuhov says when he saw that, he decided to train on his own to become a scout. This feeling of resentment and anger gave me the strength to take weapons and start killing the Russian soldiers. The Russian army set up camp outside of the cities. Local patriots would go there, pretending to be on the side of the Russian world. They usually came back at night with weapons. We would just fire at the camp and run away. This is how our guerrilla war began. The first of these men made their first landmines following instructions from the internet. They collected ammunition from the battlefields. Every day, the group of warriors became more and more experienced. They collected reconnaissance data and committed sabotage in the enemy rear. In September of 2015, Volodymyr Zhemchuhov was supposed to blow up a vital transmission line. He rigged an electric pole with explosives, but then stepped on a mine. Severely wounded, he crawled to the road where the Russian militants picked him up. Don't worry about my wounds and injuries. A war is a war, but after a war there is always a victory. I believe that victory will come to my native town, Krasny Luch. Nevertheless, Volodymyr fulfilled his task. The bomb went off and destroyed the target. He spent the whole next year in a Russian prison, blind, heavily wounded, both arms gone. He refused to get on his knees on camera in exchange for freedom. He also didn't let a propagandist from Britain, Graham Phillips, humiliate him when he was finally released. My country, Ukraine, needs me. I'm a patriot. Ukraine doesn't abandon its people. Now he is a hero of Ukraine. He received treatment in several hospitals abroad and came back to Ukraine. Now he travels around his home country and tells the truth about the Russian occupation. He says, even now, after all that he has been through, he has no hate for the people of Russia. They gave people a stupid national idea and cheap vodka. They are drunk and scared of being occupied. I believe that we are going the right way, and we will liberate Russia and drink for the Moscow People's Republic one day.